Hi Angela. Before I present the resource I've created to help rectify the problem in the Year 4 scenario, I would like to discuss further what a positive learning environment typically entails. Empirical and theoretical research suggests that positive learning environments facilitate constructivist learner-centered pedagogy and collaborative group work, promote empathy and compassion, limit disruption and conflict, and make students feel comfortable, happy, and safe, and importantly, are mutually constructed between the teacher and the students. The resource I have designed in response to the current scenario is a lesson plan consisting of a range of teaching strategies and activities that will assist in promoting many of the key features I just mentioned, and ultimately will assist in re-establishing a positive learning environment. So this is the lesson plan. Here are some of the curriculum links. So you have the sub-elements from the personal and social capability continuum and the focus areas from the Australian Professional Standards for Teachers that this lesson plan aligns with. So the learning intention: at the conclusion of this lesson, students will be able to demonstrate self-awareness through the use of introspection techniques and explain appropriate classroom and group work behaviours. Importantly, the class will be configured to facilitate small group work. So specifically, desks may be rearranged so that students can sit in circles on the floor. The teacher will begin the class by addressing students' recent behaviour during team-based work and explain to them that in this class they will be participating in activities designed to promote a positive learning environment. The teacher will then initiate a yarning circle to introduce students to the concept of introspection. The teacher will model what introspection is to the students and then have students take turns with the person next to them displaying how to take an assessment of their current mood, so introspection. In the body of the lesson, the teacher will allocate students to certain groups, and each group will be provided with a positive learning environment grid that stimulates students to think about how they can demonstrate respect, fairness, and responsibility in regard to themselves and others. So this is an example of what a grid may look like, and the students in their groups will come up with responses for each of these boxes together. The teacher will then inform students that in order to exit the classroom for the day or to go to lunch, they need to write down on a piece of paper what the key learning intention for the class was and one key personal takeaway from the group activity they had. And then before students leave, the teacher will tell students that in the following class or in tomorrow's class, they will use the responses recorded in the positive learning environment grid to construct a class code of conduct poem that they will recite before they engage in future group activities. In terms of differentiation, the teacher will place students in groups where there is a bit of a history of negative behaviour in order to rectify this. And in terms of form of assessment, the teacher will walk around during the activities, both the introspection activity and the positive learning environment grid activity, observe students' discussions. It maybe implement specific open-ended questions where necessary to elicit thoughtful reflection. And then also the teacher will informally assess students' exit tickets to ensure that students understood and engaged in the lesson content. All right, so I'll just go back to the PowerPoint. So one key classroom management theory that underpins my lesson plan is Glass's choice theory, which argues that students' disruptive behaviour is a product of poor learning environment, and that a positive learning environments are fostered when teachers lead students towards appropriate behavioural choices rather than coercing or forcing them to comply with the rules. Additionally, choice theory emphasises the role of respect in creating a positive learning environment, as well as advocating the use of cooperative learning strategies. A second key theory that underpins my lesson plan is social constructivist teaching and learning theory. Similar to choice theory, social constructivism advocates the use of cooperative group work that promotes student-centered learning and subsequently students' voice in the development of a positive learning environment. So two specific teaching strategies incorporated within my lesson plan that increases its effectiveness in promoting a positive learning environment are the facilitation of student introspection and the encouragement of student-driven behaviour expectations. Empirical research has shown that students' emotions are linked to their interest, motivation, and behavior, and that by encouraging students to be self-aware of their emotions, students are better equipped to self-regulate, increasing engagement in pro-social behavior. Additionally, by having students work collaboratively on setting expectations for their own behavior, students feel an increase in autonomy and subsequent responsibility for maintaining the agreed upon expectations. This is further compounded by having students create a class pledge, or as is the case in my resource, a code of conduct poem that will be recited as a class for team or group-based work. Furthering the effectiveness of my proposed resource is its alignment with Kohlberg's morality of justice and fairness theory. Specifically, the activities embedded in this lesson plan will facilitate Year 4 students in establishing and maintaining agreed expectations, as Kohlberg posits that pre-adolescent or upper primary age children typically operate at the conventional stage of moral development, where they not only conform to group expectations, but maintain, support, and justify the expectations, displaying loyalty and identifying with the group involved. Overall, due to my lessons plan alignment with the relevant theory and research discussed throughout this presentation, successful implementation will aid the teacher in the provided scenario to re-establish a positive learning environment. Here are the references provided, and thank you for listening.